so we have to get off that operating system and move over to the Windows 10 platform. We've done some pretty special things with regards to how we roll that out. We're not touching individual machines like we used to do in the past. We're actually implementing an imaging solution that will allow us to image these machines over the network and save us an extremely great amount of labor and time. With that, I'd like to actually bring in Bart Riley, my Deputy CIO, and have him talk a little bit about how the imaging software works, if that's
Sure.
okay. Great.
This is Kyle Hannon, our system analyst. He's putting RAM into some of the new workstations that we received for the Windows 10 upgrade so that they can handle the Windows 10 a little bit better. We have over 200 devices that we received this year to replace older devices that won't support Windows 10. And as was mentioned, that we got a new this new imaging software that we got that works great. It really reduces the man hours that we're putting into it. And we basically just boot the device. It picks up the image off the network and installs it. Nothing else needs to be done, which, like I said, saves hours and hours of our time. And if you look back here, we have workstations, and we have laptops, Chromebooks, and like I said, it's probably with the Chromebooks, we have almost 300 devices that we received this summer.
The permitting solution was a directive by the Board of Selectmen. They wanted to introduce additional constituent services and make them an online fashion type of a la carte. So that's what we did. We implemented an electronic permitting solution and eliminated paper and walk-ups and that type of thing. It's a very fond project of mine. It's been extremely successful in the building department. There are multiple modules that we have purchased. The e-permitting solution building module has been completely built out. So contractors and/or constituents can come in and they can apply for plumbing, electrical, and any number of permits that are associated with the building department. We also have the Board of Health module that we're working on currently. Pam Fahey, the Director of Board of Health, or Health Director, is essentially working with us very closely to make sure that the existing paper applications are converted over into a digitized version and will be part of her module when complete. She has approximately 10 applications that she will be managing through that process. She's been extremely helpful in that. When that is complete, we will then tackle the planning module. We received some amount of money from the Capital Budget Committee this past year, and that will be the next module that's in place. That's e-permitting. Electronic document management is also another very intriguing advancement for Cohasset. It is a solution that allows us to reduce paper. It allows us to move or funnel information from the agency or the town to different departments. It gives us the ability to create a public portal for constituents to come in and self-help themselves to certain documents. It's a very powerful tool. We received a state grant to get that off the ground initially last year, and we did. We have that system running right now. We received a second grant for the public portal portion of that solution, and that will be available late winter this coming year. So it's a very exciting project for us. This is Tejal Patel. She's our database administrator. She works on the student information system and is dedicated to the school department. She manages student reporting, all of the student and staff data. She interacts with a number of different employees, including payroll and central office, and she's a key component to the IT department. What Tejal has in front of her is a student information system called Aspen. It is a solution that we've migrated to from an older, antiquated solution, and Tejal has been extremely helpful and actually the point person for the migration. She's done a lot of data validation. She works with the vendor and all of our staff. The validation team has been instrumental as well, including principals and central office. And with that, I'll just turn it over to Tejal, and she can show you a little bit about the screens that she's looking at, what she's doing.
So basically, I'm for the reporting, I'm working on our old system to just clear the DOE errors for now, and I'm on the second validation round, and I think I have like almost like around 50 errors to clear, and then we can move to transition to the new Aspen system we are. So this is new Aspen system we have, and this is like a student database, and we have like each and every student details, biographical or schedule information, with the same thing with the teacher and all over the staff, like middle school, high school, Deer Hill, or Joseph Osgood. We have basically all information, what they need to run the schedules or communicate with the parents, everything. So
It's a powerful database. It contains an awful lot of information that's critical to what the schools do. This is literally the backbone of the schools. We also have additional applications like SNAP, which is the nurses database, which essentially will integrate with our Aspen solution so that the nurses database will actually have the same information that the Aspen database has with regards to biographical information and that type of thing. Other types of applications might be NutriKids. There's Blackboard Connect, which is what we communicate with the parents or the staff with. So it's a very foundational application or database that many of the other solutions we use will leverage going forward. So we're pretty excited about this application, and so is the staff. The old software was very antiquated, and it was very hard to use, and so this is going to be a great solution going forward for the schools.
And this is Dan. He's our technical support person, and he runs our help desk program and interfaces with all the staff.
And part of that is over the summer, I update all the teacher computers, which this summer is a little more involved than it is usually because we're updating from Windows 7, which is an old operating system, to Windows 10. Windows 7 is not going to be supported anymore in January of 2020, so that's why we're moving to Windows 10. And part of that is that they no longer have security updates as part of Windows 7, so that's really a big part of the reason that we have to do this update. So what I'm doing is going through the process, and Windows 10 is definitely a little more flashy than Windows 7, but there's some other updates and upgrades in there too that we're very excited to be pushing out to the teachers. It's one of the big changes we're looking to make going forward, and we're excited about moving to the new operating system.
I'd like to show you this impressive set of management displays that we use in town. This is the backbone of what we do. We often look for analytics and metrics to measure our systems, how well they're working, if there are any issues with them. This is a key component to what we do in IT. We often recognize them. In this lower screen, we actually have our wide area network. So that is approximately 13 different sites around the town that have a fiber presence. They're on our backbone, they're on our fiber network. All of the switches are up, all of the links are up. There is redundancy in our network. It actually gives any site the ability to traverse the network in either direction, so it's a self-healing ring. If something goes down in this particular site, we automatically become notified via our phones or email, notifying us that there are issues. Often it happens even before the end users recognize it. It's a very powerful management interface. We can configure the switches here. We can back them up from here. It's a very useful software application. We have other ones as well. We have one up in the upper right-hand corner, which captures every single packet of information that goes across our firewalls, across our core switches, if there is an event that occurs, that is one of the resources we use to track down what's happened and how it happened. This can often be tied to viruses or malware or something like that, that we might use that particular screen. This one here is our Wi-Fi network. It's across the entire town. We use this solution called AeroHive. It breaks down the usage per site. It breaks down the type of traffic that's going across. All of those metrics, all of those analytics are very important to us when it comes time to fine-tuning the network for its best performance. Storage, we see where we are. That doesn't change very much or dynamically on a daily basis, but it's good to know how much storage we have going forward. We have internal storage. We use Office 365, OneDrive storage. We have Google Drive. So we have a number of different storage platforms that we're leveraging. So that's just one of them that gives us a good insight to where we are on any given point in time. That might be useful when it comes to capital and looking for funding to expand on our systems to make sure that we're meeting the resources that our users require. Here we have all of our systems. We have 2 data centers. Those 2 data centers communicate with one another and replicate information from one side to the other. This is called virtualization. We use a software application or platform called VMware. It's a solid solution. It's been great for us for the last 3 years that we've had it. We will actually be looking at maybe changing our model a little bit. We may be looking at going to the cloud, to Microsoft Azure or potentially Amazon Web Services. Some of those cloud-based solutions or infrastructure may be useful when it comes to eliminating one of these data centers and putting some of those processes or servers up into the cloud. So this is a very powerful set of screens here. They give us some incredible information, and we make sure that these are up every single day so that we can do our jobs properly. Yes, so we have been doing a lot of research, and we needed to find a solution that would work with Windows 10. The current solution is an older solution in the language labs. There's a language lab in both the middle school and the high school. And what we found was that there was a new solution out there called ReLand Pro. It is a cloud-based language lab solution. It does not reside on the Chromebook, so it was actually significantly cheaper to substitute our older Windows 7 CPUs or computers with Chromebooks as opposed to going to a Windows 10 hardware. ReLand Pro will work on a Windows 10 machine as well. We are replacing one of our labs because there are some proprietary applications that run in those language labs that must also continue to run. But the ReLand Pro made the price point of the overall solution much less than what the solution for the Windows 10 solution was. It could potentially have saved $65,000. It was a lot of money. So we have ordered new Chromebooks for the middle school lab. They will be running ReLand Pro. We will be running the Windows 10 machines in the high school lab due to the AP exam courses and such that they have to take. And it's a great solution. It's a cost-effective solution, and anytime we have the ability to save the town some money while moving it forward with enhancements in technology, we've hit a home run in my estimation. So one of the projects I hadn't mentioned that has been an ongoing project, it's not just a summer project, but it's a substantial project with how it moves the town forward with regards to how it adopts technologies going forward. It's called a Master Technology Plan. The town has done strategic plans in the past, and the Board of Selectmen and the school committee have created initiatives for the district and or the town, and we try to ensure that the technologies that we implement going forward will align with those initiatives. So it's tough to look into the future 5 years out in technology or 10 years out because things change so quickly in technology. But there are some trends that are happening out there, some solutions we've already adopted. We have virtualization solutions, as I've mentioned in the past. One of those solutions may include going to the cloud. There may be a cloud-based solution that we use for some of those applications or processes that happen in the town. So looking at, again, cloud-based solutions to either reduce the cost of doing business or offering better services is something that we look at annually. And it's tied to the capital budget and looking at how that 10-year capital budget plan plays a role in those adoptions. So it's all combined. There are no particular technologies out there that it's going to be this one or it's going to be that one. It's just making sure that we keep a pulse on what's going on out there, what technologies are being adopted, how other government and/or educational agencies are using them. And I think by having that awareness, it sets Cohasset up well into the future to make the right decisions when that selection time comes. It's not glamorous. It's pretty well mapped out. I've been technical all my life. As a teenager, I was stripping cars in a junkyard, pulling parts off of cars. I moved into most technical roles. I worked for Eastman Kodak Company, working on office equipment and large duplicators. I worked for New England Telephone in the Ma Bell days. I was a outside field engineer at the time. So I've been technical most of my life. It's something natural to me. I have a technical ability that I feel comfortable with, and so it's a natural progression for me. I've worked with multiple municipalities in this role. I've worked with the educational side as well. I'm very fond of the work. I find it intriguing sometimes. I enjoy coming to work, and I really enjoy working with the staff that I have. They're a great group of individuals, dedicated. I can't speak highly enough about them. I've got good direction from the Board of Selectmen School Committee and Town Manager and Superintendent. I think we're all on the same page. For those of you who are not understanding of how IT is in Cohasset, it's a shared resource. So, the entire staff is being shared to a great degree across all municipal and educational departments. Makes us very powerful, gives us a depth and bench, gives us a lot of resources in-house, so that we can do a very good job at servicing and supporting the solutions that we have in the departments that we service. So I'm very excited about being here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to reach out to the town of Cohasset. This is our IT team. We're excited to be here. We really enjoy working with you and for you.
Today we're here at Wilcott Commons to interview Nancy Lafauce. We've got some great questions for her, and we hope to provide you with the information you need to learn about the Cohasset Elder Affairs. Let's get to it. All right, so let's start with the actual questions now. So what led you to this career at the Senior Citizen Center?
Well, I started out actually in high school. I did some volunteer hours at a nursing home, and I enjoyed working with the seniors, but didn't know what I was going to do with my life. After college, I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield and did a lot of help. Mostly I found myself really geared towards seniors when they called and they were confused about benefits and what they had coverage for, so I spent a lot of time with them. So after that, I saw a job in Weymouth for Weymouth Elder Services. They were starting up a new program for an outreach worker, and I figured that's a perfect fit. I like to help people, and I love seniors, so yeah, that's what started me out.
And who influenced you the most when you started and to where you are now?
That's a hard question. There's a lot of people who have influenced me. I take a little bit from a lot of people. So a little bit from this one does something right, this one I didn't like so much, so I kind of try to work, I take a little bit from a lot of people, I would say.
And what are some of the greatest rewards or the joys that you get out of working with the citizens here?
Oh, I just love the stories. I just love to see seniors who are still, a lot of challenges. Life can be hard sometimes, but yet they're still plugging away. They still come here. They want to grow. They want to meet their friends. I find a lot of joy in seeing people empower themselves. and it's a bit challenging though when you know you can have people come in here and you can make a difference in their lives, but they're stuck in their ways, or they've never come into a center before and they don't want to start. So that's a challenge, trying to get people to do something that would be good for them, but you can't force anyone to do anything.
Right. You're still relatively new here, so in your process coming here, what are some of the traditions you've learned about and some of the things that you want to keep going now that you're the director?
Well, I know that we have really popular, we had lunch, we had a big Christmas lunch, we had a Thanksgiving. Those are all big here that we'll continue to do. We used to do it with the Atlantica, and so I think that we'll continue to do that as much as possible. Our lunches here, we have celebrity chefs, and 3 days a week we have somebody cooking a home-cooked meal, and those are delicious. So I've never changed those kind of really successful programs. But in the future, I'm hoping to get people more involved. We want to do adult learning, so more classes that really teach people different things. They're just kind of going over what they might not normally be, reading the paper about, or something they did read the paper and they want to learn more about. So we had a Cohasset history class here that was really well received. We got so many new people to find out about what's going on in town back when they started the maps. So it was a really successful program. We want to do age-friendly. We're going to join the network of age-friendly communities, and that's really exciting. We're going to have a really great time with that, and getting Wilcott Commons out and about in the community, and have people, we want them to age well in the town that they lived in, probably many people for 50 years. So it's all good stuff coming up.
And how busy does Wilcott Commons get on average per week?
Oh, we get, some weeks get very busy. We have about 200 people coming in and out every week, more depending on the program that we have, if it's going to be a big luncheon or something, but on average it's about 200.
What are some of the activities that the town should know about that they can come down and visit?
Well, we have exercise classes. That's always big. Exercise classes like yoga. We have gentle yoga, chair yoga. It's so popular we have to have them. We have that 3 days a week. We have Zumba classes, which is a really fun, energetic program. We have a strength class, and we have a stretch and balance class. So exercise classes are really big here. And we also have we have cafe on Monday mornings. So if nobody's been to cafe, you want to stop in. We get an average about 40 to 50 people on a Monday just socializing with friends. So everyone loves that one. We have knitting here. We have a book club here. There's just so many things, and we're always looking for more.
And of these events, which would you say is the most popular, that the most people show up for?
I would say it's the yoga classes and cafe.
Yeah,
definitely.
So now let's get to know a little bit about you. What parts of your job do you like and that you enjoy coming to work each day for?
I think what I like the most is the variety. Every day, you never know what you're going to find when you come to work. You meet a lot of different people. You don't know who's going to come through the doors or who's going to call. But it's just getting to know the seniors, getting to know the family members, and the staff here is wonderful. So it's a great place to work and to go every day.
And what are some of your daily duties that you have to keep up with?
Well, for programming, so we're always looking for new programming, and Diane Pico is our assistant director, and she takes the bulk of programming, but I like to be involved in as much as possible with doing that. So I do a lot of different things on a daily basis, helping with the transportation if there's any questions. We just got 2 new vans, so we're trying to figure out new transportation options for people. So whatever comes up, we just work together to make it happen.
And are there any services here that maybe people aren't that familiar with that maybe more people should be?
Yes, well, we certainly have outreach workers. So Diane is our outreach worker. So what that means, a lot of people may not know what that means, but it's actually she can go into somebody's home, somebody who might be lonely, or somebody who needs some assistance, either financially or just isolated in any way, and get to know the people, let them know about the benefits that they might be entitled to, encourage them to come here to the center. But if not, we can get a friendly visitor for that person. So there's various things that we can do to reach out to the vulnerable in our community. Besides that, the programs that we have, as I mentioned before, we have lunch here 3 days a week, but we do have a lot of, we're adding more adult learning classes, and that's going to be big because a lot of people, especially as they find themselves being a senior, and a lot of people don't like to think of themselves like that, but we take it that you don't have to be a senior, you don't have to be 60, you can be any age. If you find something that you like here at the center, we'd love for you to join us and take a look and see what we offer, and whether or not you want to see something else, we're always open to it.
To conclude, is there any message you want to give to Cohasset on behalf of the Cohasset Elder Affairs?
Yes, that this is your center. This is the center for the community, and we're always looking for new people to come, and also all of our regulars who do come here. It's important for us to always change and always get what people are really interested in doing here, and we're open to it. So if you have a talent that you'd like to share, or if you have anything that you think might work here at the center, or that you'd come for but you don't see, please reach out to us, because we're always looking for that.
Thank you, Nancy. It's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you. These are the offices here of Elder Affairs. Our assistant director, Liza Salerno's office is right behind us. Then this is Siobhan Lynch and Richard Gibbons, the back workings of the center. This is one of our conference rooms here. We have a lot of meetings, smaller meetings are held there. Our front desk. This is our sitting room. This is a room that we hope that people will come and want to sit down at any time. We're happy to have you take a friend over and sit, have some coffee, and just enjoy the room. The restrooms and the pantry is back here. We have a full commercial kitchen here at the Wilcott Commons. This is the nurse's office. Mary is here on Monday mornings and Tuesday mornings, and when she's not here, we use the room for pedicure appointments. So we have a registered nurse come and do some of those, and we have reflexology, and we have some manicures, so lots of stuff going on in there. This is our dining room, where we have lunch 3 days a week. And we open that wall, and on the other side it's huge. We have a big room, so we can have large number of parties and luncheons and any number of events. This is our chart room, and this is the wall that goes across. We open that up for big events. We had a movie here today, and we have a lot of different various things going on here. All the exercise class happens here as well.
Well, thank you for the tour, Nancy. It was a pleasure getting to know you and the facilities. Thank you for watching.